Hello my friends, welcome to another Lissa video. Today I want to talk about learning how to say no and changing your mindset around the word no to something more positive instead of negative. Now when we were kids, we would want to do all sorts of kinds of things, like stay up late, go play in the street, eat lots of candy and junk food, have sleepovers on school nights, that kind of thing. But we were always told no, because it was in our best interest not to do those things. But while we were growing up, we associate the word no with rejection, I can't have fun, and all of these other things. So as we become adults, we still fall back on those things that we learned when we were kids, and saying no is really difficult. We want to say yes, and when it comes to diet, it's easy to say yes because it tastes good, and all these other reasons, but we should really be saying no. And we have problems saying no because, again, we feel rejected. The reason why we always tend to say yes is for people pleasing and for taste, and convenience. There's a bunch of other reasons, but when it comes to people pleasing, specifically in this time of year where you have your mom and dad and aunts and uncles and grandmas and friends and everybody, you know, trying to get you to have their eggnog, their turkey dinner, their Christmas cookies, their pies and all this stuff, and then you have New Year's, so you know, it's like champagne and beer and getting drunk and having pizza and having a big party and all this kind of stuff. And then you start the new year saying, oh geez, I wish I never ate or did that kind of stuff, because now you have to backtrack and fix the stuff that you did before. So we say yes specifically in these times and in social situations because we're people pleasing. We want to make them feel happy that we ate their food, and we want to be part of the group and all this kind of stuff. We say yes because we want approval, we want affirmation, and we want acceptance. So we say yes to these people so that we can feel those things and we don't feel the rejection that we felt when we were younger by saying no. The problem is we're looking externally for this approval, affirmation, and all of that stuff when we should be looking inside ourselves. And saying no is approving of yourself and sticking to your diet and living life on your terms. You shouldn't be saying yes just to people please, just to make them happy, because then you're not living your true self and your goals. If your goal is to be healthier, then saying yes to something that you don't want to be eating is not furthering you in your goals, and it's your life. You should be able to choose to say yes or no depending on that. When we say yes to those foods that aren't taking us towards our goals in our life, we are saying yes at the expense of ourselves. We're taking away our own power by not saying no. No is an extremely powerful word, and we need to change our mindset surrounding that word. We need to start thinking of no more like a shield, a protection for ourselves, a protection against those things and foods and stuff that we don't want to have in our lives anymore. We have to think of it as a shield, and it's strong, and we should be thinking, I want to say no to the things so that I can say yes to things in the future, like yes to the bikini body that you want, or yes, my joints don't hurt anymore, yes, my acne is gone. You want to be able to say yes to those things further down the road instead of saying, you know, it's hard to say no in the beginning, but you want to say no so that you can say yes to those things that matter in your life. You need to learn also to be proud of saying no. Be proud of yourself. And now you don't have to be like, all in front of everyone's faces saying, I said no, I'm so great. Don't be like that. Be more internal with your pride. Say to yourself, say, I am so happy that I said no to that eggnog. I am so proud of myself for sticking to my goals, because I'll be further ahead at the end of the holiday season than if I said yes to all these other things just to people please and all that other kind of stuff. When you say yes to others, it also trains them to realize that you're not completely serious about your diet. You want to stand your ground and always say no. And trust me, it works. The more you say no and the more often you say no, it's easier for them to realize that you really are serious about your diet and that you're just not going to say yes. I've come to a point in my life, it's been 3 years that I've been raw, and I've said no to countless things. But because I did that in the past, Now hardly anyone ever asks me if I want, you know, cooked food or whatever, because they know 100% I'm gonna say no. So they don't even bother asking anymore. But it took time, and it takes time to train your loved ones that you're just not going to say yes. And that you love them, obviously, and you can tell them that and everything, but you have to train them to realize that you're serious. You're serious about this, and you're training yourself as well. The more little things that you say no to helps you to say no to the big things. So, you know, when you start the new year or whatever, you want to start to practice saying no to small things. And I like to tell people, and only do this if you're full, like if you have a good full stomach, because it might cause cravings. And don't go do this if you have triggers, obviously. But if you're feeling really good and you don't have triggers, you can head down some of the aisles of the supermarket and say no. No, 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 and feel the pride of saying no. Because if you can say no to all these little things over and over and over and over again, the affirmation, the positive reinforcement, then you can easily say no during, you know, really big things like your birthday or a family barbecue, family reunions, holidays, vacations. It's easier to say no to the big things when you constantly say no to the little things. So why don't we say no? What is it about saying no that stops us? Why do we want to say yes? Why are we people pleasing? There are a few reasons why, and some of my reasons will be different than some of your reasons, but these are the general reasons why we don't like to say no. First reason is that we don't want to be rude. Obviously, we don't want to make the other person feel uncomfortable by saying no to their pie. We don't want to ruin a relationship if we say no. We have these fears, which are, you know, they're just fears, illusions, because you're not going to ruin a relationship if you just say no to pie. The problem I've found is that if I was eating a standard North American diet, whatever, and I wasn't vegan or all that, and somebody offered me pie and I was full and stuffed because I ate a bag of chips earlier, and I said, oh, no, I don't really feel like pie, because I just ate, so yeah, but it was really nice or whatever. No one would say anything. They would just be like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. But because I'm a raw vegan, if I say no, people get offended because it's like, well, her diet's different. So, you know, it is psychological, is that you can say no. It's just because you're raw or vegan, people feel a little bit offended by that for some reason. But we need to learn that it's not going to ruin a relationship if you say no to food, and you can say no quite easily. I'm going to go through the steps on how you can say no. But we also have the fear of missing out. We don't want to miss out on the flavors. We don't want to miss out on enjoying the food with everybody else. And yeah, sure, this is the problem, but you're also missing out on future health. You're also missing out on furthering your goals. So are you really missing out? Which one would you rather? Would you rather miss out on the food and the social aspect, or would you rather miss out on having your true health? We also have a fear of not being loved and feeling rejected. If we say no to somebody, they might withdraw their love from us. Again, this is another illusion which you have to work on and say to yourself, I'm loving myself. I am loving myself by saying no and protecting myself against those foods that bother or irritate me or that I don't want to eat. So we have to realize that saying no is actually a very loving act to yourself, and it's not a rejection or a negative thing, because you're protecting yourself. And another reason, a couple reasons why, is that you might feel guilty that you didn't say yes, or you might feel regretful because you didn't get to hang out or eat whatever it was. But again, do you want your future health, or do you want to just have this moment? You really have to think about that. You have to weigh the two and say, I prefer to follow my goals and follow my dreams than to have this moment right now. I heard a really cool quote, and this is actually the reason why I'm making this video, is say no to grow. You want to change your mindset around no to no becoming this awesome word that protects you. You want to grow as a person. You want to grow as an ethical vegan. So by continually saying no, and saying no in a loving way, obviously you don't want to be like, no, I don't want that. Say like, no, thank you for offering, but I decide I don't want to eat that. And that's cool, right? But we need to learn to say no so that we can grow as human beings. So I know that the top 3 ways to say no is to, number 1, always be honest. If you don't want to eat that food, be honest with the people who are offering it to you. Be honest with yourself that you don't want to be consuming that. So, you know, we don't like it when we're lied to, and we don't like to lie to ourselves. So first off, always be honest. And if you don't want it, say no. Now, once you've said no, don't over-explain why you're saying no. The problem with over-explaining, I just add, is that it opens the floodgates for debate, because if they are feeling rejected or you're feeling off or weird about it, it can start a debate, which again brings up the fear of losing the relationship, feeling rejected and all that kind of stuff. So offering just one excuse or justification or whatever and not over explaining it can really help to keep your integrity and not to open the floodgates of debate, especially with somebody who likes to debate that kind of stuff. You don't need to give them a whole list of reasons. You just need to say no and give one reason. And that third part is the one reason that you give, because you don't want to over explain things, because when you start to over explain things, people kind of get defensive and they're like, okay, I get it. But we want to just give them the one reason, and all you really have to say is, no, I'm vegan, I don't want to, or no, I ate before, I'm good. You just need one reason. That's really all you need. If they want to ask questions, obviously you can go there, but you don't have to. All you need to do is say no, don't over explain, and just have one reason. After you have said no and you've given your reason and you haven't over-explained, to say thank you. Even though you would never eat that food, even though you disapprove of, say, eating animal products or cooked food or whatever, just say thank you. Be appreciative of the person. You don't have to include the food whatsoever. Be appreciative of the person who's offering this to you, because they're trying to be hospitable, they're trying to be accepted by you, they're also fearful of a relationship being damaged and all that kind of stuff. So just say thank you and be really loving and really kind. Give them a hug and say, oh, I'm so happy that you offered it, but again, no, and give your reasons, obviously. Your one reason, and say, I love you so much. I'm so happy that I can be here with you. I love being in your house for holidays or whatever. Just give them a lot of words of encouragement and, you know, solidify your relationship and your love for them. This will help to pass off the no, and you've protected yourself. You've given them love, which is what they are looking for, and you are furthering yourself in your goals. So I know this was a little bit of a long video, but I hope you guys really enjoyed it and you learned something from it. If you liked this video, please click like and subscribe to my channel to get notifications for more. I will be having, again, the rest of Vlogmas, tons of videos for you guys. And you can find me on Facebook, Lissa's Raw Food Romance, on Instagram at Raw Food Romance, and over on Snapchat at Lissa Raw Vegan. And again, here is my newest recipe book. It's got 117 raw vegan recipes. There's no fat ones, low fat ones, and high fat ones. So depending on where you are, what you want to eat, you can use the high fat ones to take to parties this holiday season. There's lots of really good ones in this book. So you can get print copies off Amazon. Just search Melissa Raimondi as the author. You can find all my books on Amazon, or you can go to this link right here. The link is also in the description below if you want the ebook version. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I love you all, and hopefully you can learn to say no and to protect yourself and further your personal health journey.